Guys, welcome back to the channel, and today we're going to take a look at a new wedge. It's a good one, this one. It's a brand new one from Ping. Remember, if you like our videos, please hit that subscribe button and tell all your golfing friends. So guys, we are back and we have got the S159 Wedge from Ping. So new wedge this year replaces Glide 4 and Glide Pro. Both have left the range, and then now the new S159. So two different finishes. You've got the Hydro Pearl Chrome, as they call it, and the Midnight finish. So chrome and black, if you like. You've then got 6 grinds. So you've got 6 grinds with this wedge this year. They've added a couple extra H&B. So there's a couple that they have added. What they're trying to do with this wedge, in my opinion, is they're going to try and go after the guy that loves the SM10. So way more options. I think there's around 26 loft and grind combinations. That's going to help you as a golfer figure out the best combination for your game, whether that's the turf that you're playing on, or whether that's the way you like the wedge to sit, or whether you like to play the face open or closed, or whatever you like to do with it. So there's plenty of choice. And I think this is a massive step for Ping, because taking away or bringing in that many loft and grind options really means that when you come in for a fitting, there's so much more choice and so much more playability. What they've done, one of the key interesting things, and I think this is brilliant, because I think if you look at Blueprint T and you look at Blueprint S, we've done videos on them before. If you've not seen those, jump back and have a little look. But one of the things they've done is they've changed the hosel shape and the hosel design to match and mirror and blend in with those two irons specifically. Now, I think that's important, because when you're looking at this type of wedge, or that type of iron, sorry, you're going to want to marry your wedges in. And one thing that's always been a struggle with Ping over the years, and this is not in previous years, but in years gone by, is the wedge range, whether that be Glide 3, Glide 4 or the Pro, hasn't always stacked up to how good the iron range actually is. I think this year, with this being released now, I think this one could be slightly different, because I think this looks really, really sweet on the back, a little bit of detailing, a little bit more classic, clean, bit like I've said before with the Blueprint T and the S irons, they just look phenomenal. I think Ping have really gone to town with their players clubs, and I think if you put the wedges in that bracket as well, I think they've created a family of product that really is going to go well together. The cohesion between those are brilliant, and more importantly, you're going to want to play them. Now, as with all Ping, the custom fit options are fantastic. Loft, lie, bend. You can bend these up a couple of degrees, you can flatten them, you can get your colored dots, all you need to marry in with your set. But on first look, they just look beautiful. Now what I've got in my hand is I've got S grind in both. I've got a 60 and a 56. I've got a 10 degree S grind and a 12 degree S grind. So let's get these on the mat, and let me hit a couple and let me tell you what they feel like. So I'm going to grab the Hydro Pearl Chrome wedge to start with. On first look, like I said, it looks good from the top. It's going to look really, really good on the rack. That when we get that in the shops, it's going to look really neat and tidy. And I think when you're looking for new wedges, that's one of the things that kind of attracts you to that on the rack, right? It's like, oh, I want to pick it up. You get in the shop and you're kind of having a little look. I think when you look at this, which one's this? This is the 60. So looks really, really nice. You've got these wheel cut grooves as well on the face. So what's going to happen with that is that's going to increase the amount of spin control that you can get. I notice a lot more players using Ping wedges now and Ping clubs on tour, so that's really interesting. And also I've noticed a few, and I won't name them on the video, but I've also noticed a few short game coaches actually sponsored by Ping and supporting Ping, which is a real positive step for Ping in the short game market. So overall, it sits down, sits quite nicely, frames it quite well. They've obviously got this really long grip, and it's one of the things that Ping have done over the last few years. And if Chris comes into the camera in a second, you'll see they've got a couple of little V's on the grip. Now, why they've done that? Well, this is their wedge grip. So you have your normal wedge position there, and then if you were to shorten the grip and go down the shaft, it gives you 2 handle positions, 3 if you really want, because you can go at the top of the grip as well. And that would allow you to change. It's Ping's little way of helping you change the distance control and manage the distance control by gripping up and down in a consistent fashion. I quite like it. It's quite a unique touch. So I'm going to grip right at the top. So let's have a little poke with this and see what it goes. Oh, that feels lovely. Little click off the face. Obviously, it's always difficult hitting and testing wedges on a mat. Before we get lots of comments, I know it's not the best thing in the world, but it's very wet, it's very muddy, and I don't really fancy going outside. So I'm going to do it on the mat today. So we may come back and revisit this on the short game area in the summer when I can get some shorts on. Oh, that clicky. It was really nice off the face. Nice and clicky. Lots and lots of spin on that wedge there. I like the way the ball's framed with this. So it doesn't look, and previously I've always felt that with previous Ping models, they're very, very bulbous. So they've always looked really kind of weird to my eye. It's just, that's a personal preference. I think this one, however, really sits very, very nicely. The straight edge of the S grind is definitely good fit for me. I like the way that looks. It's going to be one of them grinds that if you like to play the face fairly square, S grind is going to be in there, and probably one that you want to choose. So overall, that one, the chrome looks lovely. Now, I have been partial in the past to using a coloured wedge. So I've got the black one here, or the midnight, as they've called it this season. And if I'm honest, when I laid this down when Chris gave them to me earlier, I actually prefer the midnight to the chrome. And that, I don't very often say that with the wedges, but I think when you sit that down, now, years ago I used to play with a Cleveland RTX Black Pearl. Now, don't take this the wrong way, Ping, but it actually looks very, very similar on the face to that old Cleveland. Now, it just looks much cleaner. And it's obviously the beauty of the two colours is a personal preference, so you can choose which ones you like. Feels the same. Yeah, absolutely stunning. Really like that. So along with the current wedge lineup from the other suppliers this year, you've got your MG4, came out back end of last year from TaylorMade. We all know what's coming up shortly, which is that new release from Titleist with the Vokey SM10. But I think it's time that you look at the Ping S159, because this year I think this is going to be a definite competitor in the wedge market. So it's time to give it the AF Golf Store score. So let's give it the AF Golf Store score. So let's start with look. Well, as I said in the video when I was hitting it there, I think this is one of Ping's best looking wedges. And I think one of the reasons is it frames the golf ball well, but also this hosel, for some reason it just makes it look much better. So I think they've done a really, really good job. Lots of choice for the look as well. So I think they've got something for everyone, which is brilliant. So overall, I'm going to give it an 8 out of 10. Feel. Think it feels good. One thing I like in a wedge is sometimes I like it a little bit harsher. I like to feel like I've clicked it. I don't want it to feel too buttery and soft. It's okay when you're around the green, but I want to feel like I've hit the golf ball. So for me, this is a much better preference. I've always found that with Vokeys as well, and I like that feeling. So I think Ping is definitely, this new wedge is definitely going to be in that mix. Score-wise, I'm going to give it an 8 as well. You know, so I think 8 out of 10 for feel, 8 out of 10 for look. Custom options, well, come on, it's Ping. Is there a better company that does more custom options with Ping? They've got their standard shaft in it. However, you know you can put pretty much what you want. The loft options on this thing is insane. You can change lie angle, you can change loft. They've got the extra grinds and bounces as well. So to really fit you into a wedge, there is so many more options than they've ever had before, which is brilliant. I'm going to go with a 9 out of 10. I think they've upped their game quite considerably this year. In terms of price, well, no wedge is cheap. I remember back in the days where wedges used to be $79.99. Those days have long gone, I'm afraid. But this is going to be in the 159, 169 type area. We're not too sure exactly where it sits yet, but it is going to be in that marketplace, because I think where this is going to sit is this is going to be a competitor, like I've said before, to that MG4, to that SM10. So price wise, it's expensive, it's a wedge, I can't do anything about that. However, what I can tell you is that it's going to be competitive. So let's give it an 8 out of 10. Overall performance. Well, from my perspective, I preferred the Midnight. I thought the Midnight head was much better for me. I like the look of it. I'm not saying that I hit it better than the Chrome, but I just like the look of it. I think that overall performance, with the ability to custom fit it, with the ability to fix the grinds, the shafts, the kind of little nuance as well with the grip, I showed you that earlier, I think that's quite cool. I think I'm going to give it a 9 out of 10. So overall, that's a score of 42 out of 50. Guys, thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed that quick review on the Ping new wedge, S159. We didn't get any TrackMan data because I think that's very difficult to put TrackMan data on something like a wedge when there's so many variations to shot shape, shot type, whether you're opening it up, which loft you're playing, and so on and so forth. I know we would use that in a fitting, but I think when you're looking at a wedge like that, it's very similar to a putter, and there's a little bit more subjective opinion that can come into it. Overall, Ping wedge, absolutely superb. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope it can guide and help you with your future wedge choices. Remember, if you like our videos, please hit that subscribe button and tell all your golfing friends.